this little part of his witness that I want to share. Let me take you back to January, if I can find your story. This is back in January, and he says this. By this time, my disease was engulfing my mind and body like a hurricane heading for the Gulf Coast. One late night in January of this year, I set out to the casino, well intoxicated, and finally my mistakes and choices would knock me down like Mike Tyson in the early 90s. I don't even really remember what happened. I just know that I went to jail for theft of $7. But I still didn't learn my lesson. Looking as though there was no hope for me, I caught another charge of trespassing because I was banned from the casino due to the first charge and he had gone back. By the looks of my story, it would be easy to blame my parents, but I don't. I love my parents and remain in contact with them to this day. Sure, they're human and make mistakes, but the only person to blame is myself. I made poor decisions throughout my life, and I can only pray they won't cost me my future. Finally sober and living every day for the Lord, who never gave up on me, even though I was constantly turned away. Soon I will have to face the consequences of my choices, but I vowed that I will leave everything in God's hands. It sickens me to know that I hurt so many, but I have to let my past go with the help of Jesus. I will testify to the many hurting people on earth by getting my story out and speaking about the choices we make in life and how they can leave us in a cold, dark place. Jesus Christ is the only way out of that. There are people all around us here in Leesville, neighbors that we wonder about and intuitively we know about. Their soil is not very deep or very rich. Would you please cast a few seeds of God's love and grace? Would you let them know that Jesus cares for them right where they are? And with a little nurturing, a little cultivating, they can experience the fruitfulness of having been planted in their hearts and lives, the seeds that fall upon fertile soil. You can be real careful about that if you want. Real measured. Put your tomato plants in neat little rows if you care to. That's what the Methodist Church has been doing since the 1960s. So we're pretty used to doing it that way. Or you can do as the sower did for you and me some 5, 10, 15, maybe 50 years ago, when a seed of truth and grace and love fell into the fertile soil of your soul and claimed you for eternity. Go and cast some seeds of God's love for others. Will you do that? Tonight's altar call, as the band sings for us tonight, tonight's call for prayer is two things. If I've skipped over you, and you are one of those who feel at this point in your life, your spiritual life is among the thorns or the pathway or the rocky soil and not the fertile soil, then this time is a time for you to come and ask Christ to plant a seed of grace and truth deep within your soul that might be cultivated in the fertile soils of the depths of who you are. If, however, you hear the challenge of the sower to cast seeds of God's love and grace, then your call to prayer tonight is for God to open your eyes and your ears to see and to hear the need that He has of you to share His love with someone, maybe lots of someones right now in your midst. Will you come and join me in prayer tonight?